Hello and welcome to Poker News. Taking no notice of the strong opposition amongst MPs and the public, Cultural Secretary Tessa Jowell has decided to follow the Independent Casino Advisory Panel's recommendation and press ahead with the Manchester bid. Ms. Jowell is reported to be very confident about getting Manchester's bid approved by Parliament, which is expected to be debated on the Commons floor soon. However, in accordance with the Gambling Act, it is Parliament who get to make the final decision about where the new casinos should be located. This comes as a huge blow for MPs who've been trying to persuade Ms. Jowell to reject the recommendations and cite the first super casino in Blackpool. Calling for a rethink of the recommendation made by the ICAP, some 101 MPs, including 80 from Labour, signed a parliamentary motion expressing surprise and regret at the panel's decision in January. It's even been reported that John Prescott added his weight to the MP's campaign. However, Ms. Jowell seems to have made up her mind about Manchester and is not prepared to budge. You may remember a story Poker News covered a couple of weeks ago about the Poker Players Alliance talks with ex-Senator Alphonse M. D'Amato regarding him becoming the chairman. Well, the Poker Players Alliance, the PPA, was pleased to announce that D'Amato has indeed signed himself up for this job. The former Republican senator for New York will now lead the fight for the PPA, a non-profit organization which was formed in 2005 and now boasts 160,000 members. Recently, the new chairman D'Amato stated, "I've had a passion for poker since my childhood and for politics almost as long. This new position will allow me to fuse these passions and help establish a sensible policy that allows Americans to enjoy the great game of poker in the venue of their choosing." According to D'Amato's poker buddies, he's tenacious, he's fearless, and he's aggressive. He's also really good at reading people. All great qualities in the game of poker, but will this help the Alliance attain their goal? Only time will tell. At least in the meantime, it will keep poker and the Alliance in the public's awareness. Are you waiting for your poker game to improve, or was there a revelation when it all clicked into place and your game got much better?
I don't think there was any particular, there was a slow improvement, and I used to play, games like, draw poker in Ireland, then we started to play the Hold'em. So you began to, just develop it as you went along.
When I started winning, I was in the beginning I was only playing because I like to gamble, and I like to play any game for money.
Oh yeah, I was on a train going to London, and I just happened to be on a train going to London with a guy who I knew was a poker player, and his name was Matt Colwell. And by the time I'd got off the train at London, I went and played in the European Open and won it and come back with £28,000. That was my turning point. All of a sudden it clicked in. It's like a game of chess, or it's like a jigsaw puzzle. All of a sudden it just clicks, and you go from one extreme to another.
A lot of players that will get there at some given point in their poker career think they're very good, but really they don't realize how lucky they are to have got there. Once they realize that they're going to learn more, and that's the time to become a true pro, because until that point they're just fooling themselves.
It's still much too cold for a little swim in the sea, and sunbathing is out of the question. But if you fancy a few games of poker, Brighton is definitely the place to be at the beginning of April. Between Monday the 2nd and Sunday the 8th, the Rendezvous Casino in Brighton is hosting the Sussex Masters. Offering no-limit hold'em with a buy-in of £530, the final table of the event begins at 6:30 p.m. on the Sunday. So leave your Speedos at home and get ready for some serious poker. And finally, last September, a poker fan yelled out to Barry Greenstein that if he said "lol donkaments" in an episode of High Stakes Poker, that he'd give $10,000 to his favorite charity. Now, if you're not up with your poker slang, a donkament is a collaboration of the words donkey and tournament. And if a player were to say that about you, he thinks you've got as far as you have on luck alone, and that you're not much of a poker player. In the name of charity, Barry did the deed, and after calling a bluff from Eric Lindgren, awkwardly muttered "lol donkament." Unfortunately, the person who made the original offer refused to honor the deal. Never fear though, a whopping $20,000 of donations will still be going to the Children Inc. That's all from me. I'll see you next time.